Jerry, welcome.
Thank you, Frank.
Always
good to be with
have
you.
you here.
Thank you.
You know, in the book of Revelation, in one of Jesus' letters to the churches, he says, remember the heights from which you have fallen, and repent and do the things you did at first. We have fallen from some pretty high precipices, haven't we, when it comes to remembering our own Christian heritage?
Yeah, we really have. I mean, people forget that the Constitution of the United States was the model for constitutions all over the world. We were like a city on a hill. And today, America is morally in the shambles, but the main problem is we've forgotten God. We have forgotten that God is the source of our liberties. And because of that, we have seen so many things fall down in our day.
And in many ways, people have forgotten the importance of Thanksgiving as it relates to our freedoms and our Christian heritage as a nation, haven't they?
Yes, they have. I mean, for example, the Thanksgiving tradition that we celebrate ultimately gets back to the Pilgrims who settled Plymouth in 1620. That was their first time, their first harvest in the fall of 1621, when they thanked God for what they had received, and they celebrated with the Indians. And then jumping forward to the time when George Washington became our first president under the Constitution, and what did he do? On October 3, 1789, he wrote up a national day, a proclamation, and he set aside a certain day later in November as a day of Thanksgiving. That was the first time we had, as a new nation, a national day of Thanksgiving. And then jumping forward to the presidency of Abraham Lincoln, he made it an annual event. Even during the time of the Civil War, when things were so bad, he said, we still need to look at God and remember God. And he said, these things have happened to us because we've forgotten God. We need to give thanks to God. And he made it a national holiday. And we've been celebrating Thanksgiving as a national holiday ever since.
One of the lessons we've forgotten about Thanksgiving, too, is the first year, the first winter the Pilgrims spent, there was death and dying and near starvation. And yet, when that second autumn came and the abundance of the harvest, they were thankful to God. We need to be thankful to God in good times and in bad, don't we?
You're 100% right. And in fact, some historians say one of the most remarkable days related to the Pilgrims and what happened was, you know that the Mayflower, its captain and its crew had to stay over that winter.
Right.
And during that winter of 1620, 1621 is when half of the Pilgrims died, and even some of the crew members. Then when the spring came and finally the captain could go ahead and sail back to England, he asked, does anybody want to join me? You know, give up and go back to the home from whence you came. And none of them said yes. They all agreed to stay there and work it out. And by God's providence, he established this great colony of Plymouth. And the Pilgrims cast this very long and positive shadow on America. And it's just such a great story. But the fact of the matter is they thank God through good times and bad.
Well, Jerry, thank you. We'll talk with you some more later in the program about an important resource that we have. What a great time to focus on the providential care of God, His faithfulness to our forebears, and which reminds us of His continuing faithfulness to us as well.
I agree. Thanksgiving is an annual reminder of this nation's Christian roots. Thank you, Frank.